So I've always gotten all these questions from multiple people. Many of you guys all asking where I went and why I left Boostedboiz. So Ron is behind the camera, and he's going to ask me some questions that a lot of you guys have asked me already. So I'm just gonna throw them out there, and yeah, that'll be it. So let's get started.
All right. First, how did you become a Boosted Boy?
So I became a Boosted Boy. Well, I used to be a fan. And I I watched their videos all the time. I was so interested, and I was so crazed out because I loved Hondas before this, totally crazy. And the fact that they were here in Colorado was insane. So I was like, no way that these guys are doing all this cool stuff with these Hondas and their own turbos, and they're here and they go to the meets, and it's that's awesome. So one day, I was watching one of their videos, and this was for Charlie's, his wagon. The crank went out on his wagon. So Kyle posted up on Facebook. He's like, does anybody have a D16 crank? Because the crank messed up. And I had a D-series motor that I had yanked out of my EG, and it was just sitting there. I had no plans for it. I had nothing to do with it. So I responded on the posting that Kyle put, and then that day they came over to the house, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, these guys are coming up to the house, it's freaking awesome. And they came, they picked up the motor, and they actually did a video, and they put it up on Boostedboiz when they had 43,000 subscribers. It was a long time ago. So yeah, that's how I met Kyle the first time. How I started was I would hit him up every once in a while. After that, I'd be like, hey, you going to the meets? Let's meet up, let's do something before that. He's like, alright, that's cool. So then one day, I'm pretty sure most of you know, Charlie left Boostedboiz, and he was no longer there. So Kyle would go to the meets by himself, and he would have nobody to record. So he told me that. So I went with him a couple of times actually, and I recorded a lot of the early races. And then I guess his mom had asked him about if he needed a roommate or not, and he didn't. I don't know. Till this day, I never asked him why he asked me to move in with him. I never asked him, but he asked me. He's like, hey, do you want to? He's like, do you plan on moving to Loveland? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, do you want to come stay over here at the house? I need another roommate. And I was like, what the heck? That's crazy. Why is he asking me? He's got so many other people. I thought so many other people to talk to and to hang out with, and he's asking me. And we've only hung out a couple times. And I don't know. The more and more that it went on, he just kept telling me, and it was more and more serious. I was like, okay, he's actually he wants me to go. And I was like, I don't know, this sounds really good to be too good to be true. So I don't know, I prepared everything, and I told him, I was like, hey, I'll really go, I'll do this, but on this one thing, why don't I just work for you? I know you make quite a bit of money, and why don't we just do this, and we'll build it up even bigger, and let's just keep it going, And he's like, well, I don't know, I was really just looking for a roommate. He's like, but that sounds like a good idea. But yeah, that's how I started right there.
What about your time as a Boosted Boy? Your experience as a Boosted Boy?
My experience as a Boosted Boy was it was pretty cool. I got to meet a lot of cool people. There's so many fans that were always interested in what we had to do, and it was awesome because it was cool. It was awesome. I got to meet just so many friends and so many great people. But yeah, man, it's it all kind of went away.
What about PFI? What's your relations with all the guys at PFI? People are asking.
Well, me and the PFI guys we're best buds, because it's like I used to go over there all the time, like when I really didn't have nothing to do, because it was so far up, and I didn't have anywhere to go. Like I moved like a whole hour away from my old house, and I left my job and everything like that, and so I didn't really have it much. I had my girlfriend, she stayed up in Fort Collins, but that was an extra like 20-minute drive from Loveland. So, and then most of the time she was in school or she had things to do. So I spent my free time just going over there with PFI, and those guys are they're awesome. Todd, Jamie, Brent, forget him. Like, it's freaking awesome. I got to meet all of them. That's how I met you, Ron. That's freaking sweet. You're a bud of mine. And but me and Brent, yeah, we talk. He texted me all the time. He's like, "Hey, brother, love you. I love you too, man." It's freaking. He's like the best, most inspirational dude. Like I will never forget like the memories we've had. Like I will always kind of like die with him. You know, I don't think I'll ever forget that. And it's cool to share it with somebody like him. He's a sweet dude.
Tell us about your first trip to Florida. Tell us about the first time.
The first trip to Florida was freaking crazy. It was far. We drove so much. My brother helped us out with that. My uncle did. He let us borrow his truck, and like it was just a huge, big like support from my brother just to be there, and having like the usefulness of the truck just to tow it, and it's just awesome because we didn't have to worry about that at all. That made it super easy. And like the trip to Florida was just like, it was so freaking awesome. It was insanely cool, but it was very we had to do a bit of work, other things that we had to do, like for the minivan wise, we had to get like different angles. It was cool, but just to be there and like the overall experience was like awesome. We got to meet like Adam LZ, the dude in blue. Who else did we meet? Like Cletus, we met him for the first time there. Like there's so many more other people, but those are like the big ones, and I just think it's insane that we got to be there, and Ralph Ferretti invited us out there. But yeah.
Tell us about the second trip. What about the second trip to Florida?
Well, we went on a trip to Maryland, actually, before that. But the other trip to Florida, the last trip that I was on, it was cool. We got to do the what did we do?
We rode around in those like 3-wheel scooters.
Oh yeah, we got
around Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, we did that, and we did like the demolition derby drag racing. Like that's insane. That was super like awesome to do, and those are the memories that I'm talking about. Like with Brent, like we were there putting the Integra back together, and there's like a whole crowd around us, and we're just trying to put this motor back together, get it running, and yeah, we were like there, and it was insane, kind of just to take it in, you know. But it was awesome, but it was a real like eye opener for me. The last trip was a big one. Yeah.
How is it like living with Kyle?
Well, it was it was pretty interesting, like his habits, like the way he did things. You know, I like when I got there, it was cool, like, cause he was super like awesome about everything that I like wanted to do around the house. He's like, yeah, like do this, whatever, and that. So I felt very, very comfortable at first, like the first like 2-3 months, and then after that, like I don't know, I guess it just kind of got like more and more like not as a friend type deal, more like a roommate type deal. Like, you know, you kind of just like let each other do their things. But that was the kind of crazy part about it, because we worked together in a way. He was my boss, so I had to like do what he said and be there like 24 hours, and just whenever like things would happen, because like we could end up doing something early in the morning, or like we would always go out to the meets, you know, to the car meets, and so it was kind of just like an all day, always committed to that, and I was like all for it. It was awesome, you know. But like after a while, his attitude kind of changed towards me. I felt he was being more just like blunt about things. Like he would just say them, like not really thinking about what he just said, kind of thing. It's very like, I don't know. I felt left out, like hugely, towards the end, because I don't know. It's just like the way that he would like kind of treat me the way like when I was there. Like he kind of just really got bored of me, like I felt like, and like just very quiet. And then after that, it was like I would do things, and he would like kind of just say I'm doing it wrong, you know, put me down, and be like someone disrespectful, and be like, no, that's not how you do it, like kind of, and just like I would give my honest opinion, like I did it from experience, and like I did things like to work on the cars, and I do it certain ways, and they've worked for me, so I would like tell him to do certain ways, and he's like, no, don't tell me what to do. Like I was like, dude, okay, well, I'm just letting you know, you don't really have to be a kind of a douche about it. Like just keep your chill, like. And it just kept going after that, and like that's why I'm saying, like on our last trip to Florida, like I kid you not, we said 5 words to each other the whole time we were there, including the plane ride. Like after that, I felt he was extremely bored and like irritated with what I was doing, and I would be there, and like I would ask him questions. I'd be like, hey, like, do you need this? And then he's like, hold on, and then he would go do it himself, even if I've asked him if like he needed me to do it, because I know that's why I'm there. Like that was the whole purpose of me, is to help and do that. And then when I would help, like kind of do things, and then he would want me to be out of the video and let him explain it, like when I'm still trying to do things. Like that happened so many times. I don't know, like living with him was very hard, because when I was living with him, I was still in my last year of high school, and I would have to like kind of wake up early. And I understand like he had no school, but like he'd be up most of the times. Like he'd be up doing videos and stuff, and then after like always on the Fortnite and playing, and like it was very like I needed to like wake up early in the mornings, and like a lot of the times I dedicated my time on the, like when we would make videos, like especially on the minivan, because we were always on it, we were constant, we were like going at it, and every time like he'd be like, no, it's okay, like I can do this. I'm like, dude, like I got you, like I'm here to help. All right, so we would stay up literally till like 2 a.m. on like weekdays. And then like I really like struggled that last year, but I ended up graduating, and I passed, and it was very hard because I had to drive like nearly an hour every single day, and that was like 2 hours of driving there and back, and it was hard. And then I had to make, like, I tried to be there on time, like soon enough that we would have daylight to film in and stuff like that, because it was during the winter. And I just like, I really put in my whole time. Like I gave up a lot of things. I left my parents' house. I moved out for the first time into Kyle's house. I left my job working with my uncle, and honestly, like that right there was like a big leap, because I was making good money, like, and when I had first started, I was kind of being like very courteous, and like letting like Kyle kind of pick or what he wanted to pay me. So I just kind of let it be, because like we were cool. Like I didn't want to be on his bad side at the very beginning, because that's not something you're supposed to do when you meet somebody, you know. But I was okay with it still. And he's like, okay, well, how does $150 a week sound? And I was like, all right, well, that's not gonna work, obviously. But he's like, well, yeah, well, just like till we get started, till like we figure out what we need to do. And I was like, okay, well, I really didn't get like much what he was trying to say, because he just like wanted time to pass by, and like kind of see how I would do, I guess. But either way, after that, like maybe a month went by or two, then he started paying me like, I think it was like $250 a week, and then at the no, it wasn't $250. It was like that was $250 per 2 weeks. So I'd get $500 a month, and then at the last like kind of months, because I would make T-shirts and stuff like that, all the merchandise. Like I ran the store because like that was something we agreed on. Like I did all that stuff, like all the shirts that we've like sold to everybody. Like I put my time and I like stayed there, and there was like I had to press on each like decal onto the shirt. And, like, that was a lot of shirts. It was like over like 1,000, and that whole time, it was a lot. It was a lot of shirts. And then every day I would come home and then make sure that there was no orders there. So then if there was, then I had to go like 10 minutes to the post office, drop them off for everybody, and that was like every day. So I ran the whole store. And then the agreement was that he would get half of it. The whole sale that we would do, he would get half. And the first time, like I really wanted to say something, but I don't know, I guess I'm too nice of a person to just like let it go, you know, just like let it slide. So I just like it just happened though. And then the second time I was like, hey man, like I need some more, like at least if you still want half of the merchandise, you could take it, but I need to get paid more, because like at this time I was getting paid $500 every 2 weeks, and that was it. I still had to pay my personal stuff, and he would pay for like me staying there at his house, because that was the agreement that we had. And like $500, like I don't know if anybody realizes that a whole 2 weeks, it's kind of hard. And especially like how far I had to drive, and it was a lot of things that I had to do, and like I had no kind of time for my own personal things. So whenever I like could, I'd take the chance, and then I don't know, like I just did things the way I see that like fitted like the best. I was like, okay, we have some time here, so let me go do this, and I did my things that I had to do. But I don't know, just living with him it was hard, it was stressful, honestly. Like it was pretty stressful.
Now everybody's saying that you just got your car boosted and then you left. They're saying that all over social media.
Yeah, okay, well, that is not the thing. Like the whole there's a plan behind that. So the way I was getting paid, he would go and return and like kind of purchase all my parts. And then so like this is still at the very beginning, like he kind of said that, and I was like, okay, well, why don't you just pay me more, and then I'll buy them, like you actually pay me more. He's like, well, we could just do that for now. And like I just let it slide. I let so much things slide because I was there to help. I was there to help him and do a lot of things, and to like get treated like that, like be like disrespected in a way and like talk to you like badly, like I couldn't take that. It was very hard. And so time came that he finally like ordered the parts. I had sent him parts, like the exact parts that I wanted, the ones that I would buy, like if I wasn't even there, like if I wasn't even a part of the Boostedboiz, these are the parts that I would put. So then he's like, all right, like finally, and this was like after months, like we had built the minivan, and then we did the 240, and like everything in between, like we did things to the wagon. This was like all time that I was waiting for. Like it finally happened towards like the end the end time that I was there, like that was it. So he bought all those things, and like to me, like I didn't want that to happen because I wanted to buy my own parts. Because then, like just how this is happening now, I didn't want anybody to say, "Oh, he built your car and he bought all this stuff for you." It's like I was like doing my job. I see it as this is like my money that I earned to put back into my car, and then I'm putting it back into it. Like this is money I could be taking out and spending it on something else. No, I'm putting it back so we can have content on the channel. And like I didn't feel right, but I guess it still works. I let it slide because I just let so much stuff slide. And right after it got boosted, like it was cool. Like I was there, and then I would ask him and be like, "Hey, like let's go to the meets in my car. Like it's finally boosted." He's like, "No, I'll just take my MR2." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Nobody's gonna record." He's like, "No, we probably won't use this video anyways." I'm like, really? Like you don't. You're putting everything like always on you, yeah, and I get that. That's your thing, but this is something we've been working on. Like, don't you want to like show people like this will benefit your channel more? Like, I didn't tell him that, but that's what I was thinking, and I was not as rude to him because I had respect, you know. He was a guy that I saw as a role model, kind of in a way, because like he interested me, like made me like love my Honda more than I already did. So that was the thing. Like when he built it, and obviously he like welded things and they were custom, but like that still would have worked with like intercooler piping because everybody does that all the time. And I just didn't get my car built and leave because I still have my car there, and I planned to stay there for a while. I actually applied to the exact same school that he did for welding to do other things that they were doing. They had construction, and I wanted to do like maybe HVAC or something that had good things, and it was there in Fort Collins. And like I had plans to stay there, like I really did. But after like all the things that happened where he would like leave things out that I say in the video and cut a lot of things, like he always just wanted me behind the camera, and I understood that. But then like when I had things to say, like actually when the camera was off, like that was still there, you know. He still talked to me like that way, and he still like ignored me. Like honestly, like he didn't need me to go. He could have told me to stay here. Like if you wanted to go, like that would have been alright. I would have stayed. But just the way that he was, and it was crazy. I really wanted to stay, and I didn't want to like leave like that because I know it may seem like that, but it's not how it was.
Did anyone try to convince you to stay?
Well, I had actually told you first, Ron, that I was leaving. That I was leaving the channel because of everything, and I explained everything to you, and you totally were like, "Yeah, dude, like that sounds awful. Like, why would you do that? Like I know there's so much I could have benefited. Like we could have been still in the Boostedboiz, and we could have still been doing insanely cool things. And why to leave that? Like, yeah, I told you it was pretty bad, and it was that bad that I left all of that because I'm actually a lot better now. Like, that it may seem weird, it's better now that I'm on my own, like got my own house now, and it's cool, and I'm chilling. But nobody told me like to stay, really. They're like, "Dang, dude, I didn't know it was that bad. Like, are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." And then even some people agreed with me. They were like, "Yeah, dude, like Kyle, like some very close people, they said, yeah, he's like that, dude. Like, it sucks that you're living with him. I couldn't imagine. He's already bad." So, like, coming from close people like that, like, it made me like push myself further away because like I was really like I was very angry at this point. I was like trying to do things, trying to finish school, and it was like all this on top, and it was just hard. Couldn't do it. So nobody held me back really. But I never told Brent because I knew what he would say. But I knew that he kind of wanted to take it so easy because Kyle is the only that Brent is the only person that sees Kyle like 100% like positive all the time, like how you see him in videos. Like, he can't see what we like of what I've seen because I live with him, and like he's gotten used to me, and he like got bored and like kind of just really didn't want nothing to do with me at the end type deal. So he couldn't see that. There's no way because Kyle never showed that side of him to Brent. And I feel like that was the only person because everybody else had agreed with me, and they were like, yeah, man, like, it's just him. Like, it sucks for you though. Like, damn, I wish it wasn't like that, dude. Like, wish you could stay because like, what are you gonna do now? I'm not gonna see you. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Well, I'll still come around for you guys. He's like, yeah, man, but it's not like that regular thing anymore. Like how you've been coming around, you guys, and you just like come over here just to chill. Like, you're not even doing anything. I'm like, yeah, well, your guys are my friends too. Like, why wouldn't I? So I kind of finally took that step, and I really wanted to tell him. I really wanted to talk down with Kyle and be like, hey, dude, like, this is how I feel. But every time I would like be in the same room as him, he would leave. Like, he just didn't want like a part of me. Like, I felt. That's what I felt. That's what I saw. And this is like everything that I thought, you know? This is everything I saw. So it might have been different in his eyes. He might have thought maybe, fuck, I don't know. Like, why you always following me, or why you want to be in the same room as me kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Like, he could have been thinking that, but everything that he's been doing, like, dude, I swear, like, I didn't feel comfortable there at all. So yeah, at the end of it, I left, man, and got my own house. Like I said, it's awesome. Me and Ron, we're doing our own thing. It's freaking sweet. We love it. We got good support behind it. It's like, you guys are awesome. Like, the whole reason for this video is because of you guys. Like, you guys deserve an explanation. And hope you liked my side of the story. But after watching all those videos about where like Hayden, Wyatt, and like Charlie moved out, like, I'm not gonna say like they weren't lying, because they weren't. You know, they were pretty truthful. So right there, we just that's my side of the story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy.